Good morning, my name is Anne Guimard. I am the founder and president of FINO Investor Relations Advisors and the School of Investor Relations. We are extremely privileged to put together this masterclass together with Africa Investor and Investors in New York. Just a couple of words about FINO. We operate globally out of our offices in London, Paris and Johannesburg. We are the only investor relations firm to have developed its own set of training courses. To this date, we have trained, advised, or attracted more than 1,300 companies in more than 60 different countries, and more recently, we have been appointed by the Stock Exchange of Mauritius and by the Johannesburg Stock Exchange to deliver investor relations training courses for their listed companies. The masterclass is about empowering CEOs of African listed companies in the global competition for capital. It's about telling them not only why, but how they can develop winning investor relations strategies that will help them differentiate themselves and their companies in the African context in the global competition for capital. The uniqueness of this masterclass is that it takes place in New York and brings together an unparalleled group of experts in corporate finance and in investor relations. Let me give you a few examples. Werner Röhm, who is the senior corporate finance expert at McKinsey, the world's largest strategic advisory firm, will walk the audience through the creation of value for shareholders, but also the communication of that value for shareholders. What makes a value-creating capital structure and what doesn't? We will also have Jeff Morgan, who is the CEO of the National Investor Relations Institute, which is the world's largest professional organization of investor relations practitioners. Jeff will discuss the relationship between senior management, board alignment, and shareholders' engagement and shareholders' interest. Among our panelists, we're also extremely privileged to have Professor Bill Lutz. Professor Lutz was the advisor to the Securities and Exchange Commission in the US when it developed the Plain English Handbook. Professor Lutz will explain and will teach our audience how using plain language in financial disclosure can actually help companies save millions of dollars. Rupert Spiegelberg, who is the CEO of Investors, Investors being the world's largest privately held digital and IR communications firm, Rupert will describe what makes or breaks investor relations in today's digital age. Africa Alliance with Ashley Bendel will bring together a group of US investors in African equities, journalists, financial analysts, who will have a very interactive, completely unbiased session on what US investors want to hear from African CEOs and when and how. And again, I think this will be extremely timely ahead of the CEO Summit and the one-on-one meetings that will take place the following week. CEOs attending the masterclass and their senior executive teams coming along as well will learn how to develop winning investor relations strategies that will truly help them differentiate themselves in the global competition for capital as African listed companies are getting bigger and bigger on the radar screens of US investors, but not only, but also more generally speaking, of international investors. This, I hope, gives you enough reasons to join us on the 19th of September in New York, ahead of the CEO Summit the following week, organized by Africa Investor. I very much look forward to welcoming you on that occasion, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.